Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
I will always feel something. I will always feel.
Hello, and welcome. For all those who don't know, who are tuning in for the first time, this is actually the last show of 2021. Of course, not the last show of the season. We will continue in January, but this is the last show of 2021. We are excited. It's been a long year, but we have been waiting for this show because we have a very special guest who is actually a returning guest. She's been here before, but we love shining the spotlight on her for many, many reasons. And plus, tonight we have some giveaways. We have a few surprises that some people don't know about, but I'm excited. I love doing surprises, so y'all know I'm excited. So, of course, this is festive because it's the holidays. So I have on my holiday hat and matching gear because Buffalo Plaid Black and White is my theme this year for Christmas. If you saw my house, you would be like, what country are we in? Because I am all the way live with the Buffalo Plaid this year, but oh well, whatever. As you can see on the back of my chair, yes, I'm going all out. That's how I do. So I wanted to, good evening, Tina. Thank you for joining in. I wanted to remind you all that I think either today or tomorrow we will be releasing the December issue of Dove Style Magazine. I have a couple of surprises I'm working on with that involving Old School Rollers, which is the movie that I was in that was released this year. So I'm hoping I'll be able to fine tune some things with that as far as interviews from the premiere at the movie theater. So we have something. We also have a surprise involving Old School Rollers on here tonight of something that's going to happen on Christmas Eve. So stay tuned and locked in for that. But we have a wonderful, wonderful guest that I want to do an introduction for. I'm going to read a little bit of her bio, but it doesn't even speak to the magnitude of just her being. She is a trailblazer, a legend, just a beautiful soul. And thank you so much, Sylvia, for just blessing us just one more time. Every time you're here, I'm just so excited. So I'm gonna give you a little taste of who we have on with us tonight. For those who've been hiding up on a rock somewhere. But when is the last time you saw Whoopi Goldberg, Wendy Williams, Monique, Michelle Obama, Cher, Fantasia, and Flotus, Melania Trump together in one evening's performance? Well, all you need to do is catch the Sylvia Traymore Morrison show the next time she's in town, in your town. But she's from Washington, D.C., so she's one of our own. Originally from Washington, D.C., and currently residing in Maryland, Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison is the first renowned Black female impressionist in the history of this great nation. Since impressively hosting Roast of the Champ for Muhammad Ali at the legendary Apollo Theater, Sylvia was offered a job as an associate writer for Saturday Night Live. She has performed with countless entertainers, including Jay Leno, David Letterman, Gladys Knight, Robin Williams, Jeffrey Osborne, Jerry Seinfeld, Shaka Khan, Rosie O'Donnell, and Dick Gregory, just to name a few. Okay, so this is what y'all are. Look, y'all are in the house with one of the real deals. At the exclusive request of Whitney Houston, Morrison became the opening act for Houston's The Greatest Love World Tour in over 23 cities. She's recently returned from Las Vegas, joining comedian Monique on her residency, where George Wallace spotted her in action and invited her to do his show. Morrison has released her first book based on her life, entitled Almost There: The Many Faces of Sylvia Traymore Morrison, which chronicles her life journey in the entertainment industry. Because of this rich history, she recently received her first honorary doctorate degree. Sylvia's honors include the 2013 Living on Laughter Gospel Comedy Association Lifetime Achievement Award and the Indie Author Legacy Awards, where she received the 2017 Maya Angelou Lifetime Achievement Award. After 50 years in entertainment business, Sylvia continues to perform and grace stages around the country. Her latest book, Actually, this is not her latest. She has more. She has another book. We're going to talk about that. One of her latest books was Jelly Beans from Heaven, which was released in February of 2018 and has garnered conversations across the country. She has another book that she's released this year, I believe, 2021. Yeah, I think this year. So she's been busy. So this ain't the end of Sylvia by any means, but we are lucky and blessed to have her here with us tonight. Welcome, Sylvia.
Lisa, you know what? First of all, thank you for having me here. And secondly, you read that bio. I was sitting up here going, she did? Oh, what? No. Whitney Houston?
Yes.
Wow. So thank you. That was just awesome. And actually, the latest book, which is entitled Me, Satan, God, and COVID-19, because we were all in the room together. Mm-hmm. And I released that last year, shortly after I came off quarantine from COVID. But that was such a beautiful introduction, and I love the black and white. I absolutely love it.
Thank you so much. Yes, I went all the way out, so I know my family is sick of me in this black and white, but I love it. And I figured this show, we're going all out because you all know I'm a holiday girl anyway, and Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I have some of my favorite people that I bring on the show, and Sylvia is one of my faves.
Thank you.
So we have a couple of surprises, and I think I'm going to just hint to Shariva to let me know if some of the surprises have arrived. We might bring a surprise on for Sylvia. But what I wanted to do is actually go to a commercial break real quick. Mm-hmm. We have a DSM Media commercial we want to show you just kind of what DSM Media does for Luncheon with Lisa, because I don't know if you all know, but we have a lineup of shows. So we have Upfront Mind, Body, Soul show hosted by Michelle Bolden Hammond that comes on Wednesdays. I think she'll be shifting to another day come the new season, but she's on with Dust Out Mag with DSM Media. And then we have Luncheon with Lisa on Thursdays. We have Tamika Joy, the Tamika Joy show that comes on Fridays. And she also has one of her shows dedicated to the youth, where it's the Takeover show. And we just picked up Moms We See You with Dr. Tashika Green and Jacqueline Griffin on Saturday morning. So we have a whole lineup of shows. But we're going to go to commercial break and just show you a little bit of what DSM Media is all about. And we'll be right back.
Christmas is coming, the snowflakes will be falling. It's the most wonderful time of year. So hang up your stockings, put the tinsel on the tree, because Christmas is coming by.
Yes. So if y'all haven't heard of DSM Media, you better check out me and Shariva Smith. She's behind the scenes, but she keeps the show rolling. We're trying to do some things over here, so check us out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a nice commercial. Look,
yes.
I was looking at it thinking, maybe I can get DSM, get them to do a commercial for my show that's coming up in Black History Month.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk about that.
Absolutely, yes.
I would love to do that.
So I think we have at least one surprise before we get started on hanging out with Sylvia and asking a few questions and things like that. So Shariva, can you bring our surprise? If there's more than one, you can go with that, but we have a surprise.
That is my baby. Sharon. Oh my God.
Hey, Sharon. Surprise, Sylvia. Yes, we have our drinks. It's holiday time.
I should have bought, I have a big old bottle of water. I done got too old to be trying to drink it.
Sweetheart.
Girl, what a pleasant surprise. I was absolutely not ready to see Sharon Parker.
Oh,
And I'm delighted that you're here. I'm absolutely delighted.
Thank you, baby.
Absolutely.
I knew you thought I was ignoring you when you said, "Are you coming on the show?" And Lisa said, "It's a surprise. Don't tell her. It's a
I said,
surprise."
"Don't tell her."
I said, "She's constantly asking."
And you know what, Sharon, when I asked you, I was like, well, she didn't answer me back.
Right.
So I mean,
I know how my girl think.
That is perfect. Lisa, you put that one together, honey.
Look, I saw the post and I went in Sharon's inbox and I said, don't say anything because she doesn't know.
Nothing.
Yes. So
y'all did that to me. Y'all did it.
Well, and if people don't know this,
Sylvia, sweetheart.
Yes, Sylvia just had a birthday. So happy birthday and all that good stuff and surprise and happy holidays. So yeah, Sharon's going to hang out with us as we hang out with you and just ask you a few questions about what's going on, because the first thing we wanted to ask you, and we'll get into some giveaways and some other sections of the show later on, but we wanted to ask Sylvia first, who is Sylvia Traymore Morrison in your words, in a nutshell?
Oh, that's good, Lisa. Nobody's ever asked me that. That's good. They usually tell people who I am. Well, I like to let people know, even when I'm on stage, and you know, it's amazing because I always tell part of my story when I get on stage, how I started, how old I was. For instance, I first realized I could do impressions because I'm an impressionist. I do imitations of people, things, whatever. And I had to be around 5 years old when I could hear bumblebees coming. I could hear the flapping of a butterfly's wings. I could hear the crickets, but not only could I hear these things, with the exception of the butterfly wings, I could create the same sound they made. And that's why I think to this day, these daggone bumblebees follow me around like I'm part of the family. And I'm like, I don't know y'all. Leave me alone. I don't want to have anything to do with y'all. Bye. You know, but they do. When I go outside, I hear them coming and I'm going, please don't come anywhere near me, because I'm still a little terrified of them, but they don't bother me. They just fly around as if to say,
I love it. I love it.
And so I used to go in the house at night when we got finished playing, and I'd make sounds of crickets. And my folks thought the crickets were in the house. And quite naturally, you know, as you grow older, your voice, you know, the level of my voice has like come down. I sound like a very sexy kitten now. So
that works.
I can't do the crickets. And I was trying to do one the other day. I said, no, I'll stick with my new impressions. I'll stick with them. So yeah, but the crazy thing is, a lot of people don't know, like Richard Pryor. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know this about Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was a jazz singer.
I didn't know
that.
I
was a singer before I came into the business. And if you go on YouTube and type in Richard Pryor singing, it will blow your mind, because he can sing. He could sing. And I thought I started out singing before I started becoming a comedian, because I could sing. And I was in a little singing group. Oh, we went down to the mayor's office in Washington, D.C. Me and the two girls that I sang with for, I can't think of the lady's name because she's deceased now, but she was real big in D.C. And she said, I want to have you girls to come on down to the mayor's office. And see, what is her name? Banks Robinson. I can't think of her first name, but her last name was Lucille Banks Robinson. That's who it was.
That name sounds familiar too.
Yeah, she was very active in the community district in DC, and everybody knew. But she had this voice, and when she talked to you, you knew to listen. I'm telling y'all, that's her. I wish you knew it, because that's her. And when we got to high school, we'd gone over to Eastern High School, and we participated in talent shows, and we would be winning the talent shows. But Eastern was full of talent, because they were not going to let us win, but we placed. And so that year, our senior year, one of the girls left. She went to Texas, and one of the other girls, she had a baby, and there I was still running around birthday parties and cabarets doing funny stuff, you know, doing my impressions. And finally, I decided I wanted to continue to do it, and I did. And I got a job at a place in DC called the Chef's Table. Do you guys remember the Chef's Table? It's right at the subway station now of it's not Minnesota, Benning Road.
Yes.
It was a Black soul food place owned by a Jewish guy. and he decided to bring entertainment in. And I was the first person to ever open the club with entertainment. And I liked that. I said, okay. But I still didn't have a platform because that was only like Tuesday nights. So I didn't have a platform. And this is the part where I like to tell people who I am, how I am, and the reason why. I was watching TV one night, and I was watching a show called The Flip Wilson Show. And these 4 Black women came out on the stage. When I tell y'all I was mesmerized because they were beautiful. They were afros like queens, and they were members. They were 4 women from the Miss Black America pageant. And they asked, I think Flip asked them, well, what do you do? How did you get there? I mean, what happened? And it was the perfect question for me. They said, well, we had to enter the pageant because we couldn't enter the Miss America pageant, because in order to be in the Miss America pageant, you had to fall under rule number 7, which was you had to be Caucasian.
Wow.
So the night of the first night of the Miss Black America pageant, Mr. J. Morrison Anderson, who is the president CEO, had the pageant right next door to the Miss America pageant. And so it was crazy because newspapers all across the world were saying how he was there with the Black girls, knowing that the white girls were doing their thing. But it worked out so well. So that next year I said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I entered the Miss Black America pageant. To make a very long story short, I ended up tying with a girl by the name of Bernadette Stannis. And that is Thelma from Good Times.
Yes.
That night, she got a card to go and audition for Good Times. And they sent me overseas to entertain the American troops from the Vietnam War.
Wow.
I had never even been out of Northwest Washington, D.C. They talked about sending me out the country, which I absolutely loved because it was the most exciting time. It was a national stage doing the Miss Black America pageant. And now I'm going to Europe where thousands and thousands of men and women in uniform were going to watch me perform. And Lisa, I think I told Sharon this. I don't know if you know this, but check this out. While I'm in Europe, the newspapers, radios, televisions, magazines, that was the only way we communicated then. They were reading about us here in the States. And a guy in California said, this Black girl does impressions? I've never seen a Black girl doing impressions. And the readings and the reviews were so amazing. He said, when she gets back to the States, fly her out to California. And that man was Red Fox.
Wow.
Who ended up being my very first manager. He
Wow.
signed me on the spot. When I got off the plane, his people picked me up. They took me to this little, it wasn't but like 8 people in the room. I'm used to 30,000 soldiers. You know, I'm looking at the sea of men and women in uniform. And I go to this place, they got 8 people. And I'm like, well, they gonna clap? You know, what are they just, oh God. But it worked well enough where he signed me on the spot. And that, I believe, I want to give Miss Black America their props, because had they not had that pageant, I would have never at that time been on a national stage. And so while I was in California, I went to a place called the Comedy Store. And I was in line. I had no idea. We were young. I was 19, 20, I think. I had no idea that I was in line with some of the most incredible later on in life people. I would get in line to do my little 3 minutes of comedy. I'd be in line with a guy named David Letterman, and another guy named Jay Leno, and my best comedy friend at the time. I mean, he wasn't really he was like the one that always encouraged me. His name was Robin Williams.
Yes.
And Robin he did the 9090, that TV show that came, you know, that became really good. And so I got word that but they weren't even popular yet. You know, they were we were all just out there trying to get it going, you know. But I didn't know at the time how difficult it was going to be for a Black girl. I just didn't know. And quite frankly, I didn't care. Because my thing was to find me some stages to get on and perform and show people what I could do. Because anytime Red Fox signed me right away, something was going on.
That's right. That's right.
Something was happening. Red Fox, because I didn't realize it at the time that was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was like,
huge,
I
huge.
mean, it was and you guys, I mean, and I know Sharon, and I, because of my connection with her, she knows a lot of my history. And during that time, I was coming across these giants that I didn't know it was a big thing. You know, it's like when I had to come back home because my dad was dying. So I didn't want to leave my mother here in DC by herself. So I moved to New York. I didn't go back out to California. Well, who was one of the first guys to put me on the stage up there? But it was difficult because I've been talked to nasty, I've been spit on, I've been told some crazy stuff during that early time, but I didn't care. I just did not care. I was doing like Sharon does today. Keep moving, keep doing it.
So wait a minute, Sylvia, before you keep going, we have another surprise.
Oh my God, let me put my glasses on. Here we go.
Before we pull in another surprise, because you've been talking about the history of your journey. And so I decided to bring Sharon is kind of like in your current space. But I decided that I wanted to surprise you with someone who can share in some of that history. So, Shariva, can you bring in our next surprise?
Man, you know what, Lisa, you ain't right. That is, baby Mertine. You are so right. Mertine has been there for a long time.
Yes.
And to bring her on, but you know what? I got to say this about Mertine before she says anything about me. First of all, Mertine, I love you dearly.
Yes, I know.
I was just about to tell them how I got the job with Saturday Night Live and how I only invited 4 people backstage.
Yes.
4. Her sister, Mertine's sister, her boyfriend, our niece, who was Miss Black America, and Mertine Moore. They came to the NBC studios my first night I was there. So Mertine's, that's just a snippet of what she's, how she's involved with me and how I've been involved with her, because she was trust me when I tell you this, Mertine was no slouch back then. As a matter of fact, she's probably one of maybe 3 queens running on the runway and stuff, because her whole persona, everything about her, even today, I was looking at some of your more raps today, Mertine.
Okay.
And because I see an outfit I want at my show for Black, I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
All of her outfits, she's got these fabulous models that model her raps, right? But Mertine wore 2 of them that were it was like, maybe that's why God gave her this project to do, because she had on 2 of them. And like I said, one of them I want. I want one of them. Okay. And I would encourage people to go to your website, More Raps.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Look, so we've been full surprises. We're gonna interview. Well, we're not really interviewing. We're just chit-chatting and having a good holiday show with Sylvia. But I do want Sharon and Mertine to kind of share their connection with Sylvia. Like, how did you come into play with this legend, this trailblazer? Because we all have so many wonderful stories, but these were some special people that I connected because Sharon, for you all that'll hear a little bit about Sharon is the synergy queen. Yes. And this whole situation tonight, and I'm hoping that there's another surprise that can make it. They might not be able to, but there was another surprise. So if she can't, then we'll share it later. But this is all about synergy right here. Right, this whole screen is synergy. So let's start off with Sharon and then Mertine. Thank you so much for joining us. Because I just thought that this would just put a huge smile on Sylvia's face. It was her birthday, and it's the last show for Luncheon with Lisa, and we love her so much. Sylvia, we truly love you, and so I love to shine a light on her whenever I get a chance. Sharon, tell us how you and Sylvia connected.
Okay, so first of all, you mentioned synergy, and we all know people before us were here doing things that we could never imagine doing, or they were doing it with us as we, before they passed away. So one lady, she's known as Sheba Akil. She was a model in New York. She just happens to be she passed away, but she was the aunt of my children, my two young
Sharon, before you say anything else, Martine, I'm sorry. I invited Sheba that night too.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
Okay,
right.
Sheba
that's the
came.
synergy.
Okay.
Look at
That's
that.
the synergy.
That's right.
So go ahead, Sharon.
There you go. So Sheba had this project that she wanted to do. It was a one-woman's play, and it was called Dear Ancestor Love Muffin.
Right,
And
Yes.
right.
it was a dialect of coming from Africa and just talking about what's going on in the world. So she said, Sharon, I want you to meet a couple of friends of mine. Can we come to your house in Clinton? And I'm like, well, what you coming to my house for? I don't know what to do. I just want to talk. I just want to, bring them to your house and we can talk. So it was in 2007 where
Wow.
with Sylvia, Sheba, and also it was one more person, Ty Griel.
Mhm.
They all came to my house in Clinton and they were like, Sharon, this is what I want to do. And this is what I want to do. And Sylvia's were like, no, wait a minute. I want to make some money. Okay, this is what I want to do, but I got to make some money. So we thought about doing this organization. And it's, of course, you all know about it now, but it's called ROSA. And it means Remembering Our Ancestors Synergistic Association, where each one of us, Sylvia, Ty, Sheba, and also myself, had to give a name to the letter of ROASA. So Sylvia, I'm not sure which one you gave, but I know I had synergy in there. Someone had ancestors, someone had remembering, and then someone had association. So Remembering Our Ancestors, Remembering Our Ancestors Synergistic Association.
Mhm.
So with that being said, we started that back in 2007. Here's the funny thing about what you just did earlier, Lisa. You read Sylvia's bio. And when you mentioned all of those celebrities that she had been on the stage with, I had no idea, not one idea when she walked into my house that she was bringing all that legacy in my house. I had no idea. So I'm just stuck on this little tunnel vision, just want to start an organization, just want to help people and educate about history. So we hosted an event. And we had Sylvia become, she was our MC along with Joe Gorham, right?
That's my cousin too.
Is
Joe's
Joe
my
Gorham
cousin.
really?
Yeah.
So
I saw him
synergy.
at the
See,
Ben's tribute.
that's what I'm talking about. And this year happens to be the 50th anniversary, right, of 96.3, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and this is another synergy moment. But anyway, we hosted our first event in Clinton. I had never put on an event in my life, and it really turned out well. And that's what got me on the road and the path of wanting to bring the community together. So, Sylvia was always there from the beginning. She always saw my vision. She always saw what, how hard I work. But she said, Sharon, one day, as shy as you are, one day you're going to find your voice. And when you find that voice, you're going to just make some impact in the world. So thanks to Sylvia, for seeing that in me years ago.
Yeah. Because you know what, Lisa, she would always pass off any speaking stuff. And she would have this one speaking, that one speaking. I said, well, Sharon, wait a minute, hold up. You are so intriguing when you talk. You need to talk. And she says, oh, no. I'm not one of those people that go, I like the background. I like to be in the back. I don't do the talking. You see, I hire people to do all the talking for me. I said, okay, one day you're going to find out that you can talk. And she's been amazing since then.
Well, it took years. I got to tell you, it took years for me to build up that confidence. And by building that confidence was about me understanding our past, our history. And that just motivated me. So, I'm in 2013, Sylvia was our MC along with Barbara Talley. Mm-hmm. We had our conference at the La Font Plaza Hotel.
Yeah.
And she ripped that whole thing out. I mean, everyone loved her. I love you, Sylvia. I appreciate you for what you're doing. I appreciate you for even bringing me on your 50th celebration when you had Melva Moore there. I was like, she's going to let me escort Melva Moore into her event. So I'm at awe with you and have always.
Well, see, I had to have somebody classy and knew what they, I couldn't have nobody going up there talking about, hey, Melba, let me, so I said, no, let me get Sharon. Sharon gonna do this thing right, because I've got somebody say, Melba, can I wear them shoes?
Well, Sylvia, she knows how serious I am, so I
Yes.
wouldn't let anyone touch her, come close to her. It was like, no, she's here to do a job. Stay away. I know you want to take pictures, but just make a long story short, Sylvia, I have followed you since 2007. I've supported you since 2007, and I look forward to supporting you because, woman, when you wrote your first book, almost
Right.
Almost there, almost.
Baby, you're there. Okay,
Yeah.
it's no more almost. You made it. And I remember when you said almost there, almost here, and you have made it happen in Clinton, Maryland. So I love you. I appreciate you for all your legacy and your history, and look forward to sharing the spotlight on you as much as I can.
Thank you.
Yes.
Amen.
Look,
Thank you very much.
I'm and it's funny that you say that about Sharon, because Sharon knows the story behind. Sharon gave me my first opportunity at her event to speak. I had never spoken before, so my first event speaking was at Sharon. So it's funny that Sylvia is a whole nother first with Sean and Sylvia, and the way we all came together. So we have another surprise. So we have an additional surprise.
Let's see, Roach.
Yes.
Got my boy on. Oh my God.
Yeah, so here, this is perfect. So I want Roach and Martine to talk about your connection with Sylvia.
Wait a minute, before they get started, man, I didn't do this for sure. Is this going to be taped?
Yes.
So I'll be able to pull it. I'll have them.
Absolutely.
Cool. Because I was going to turn my phone on. And
Look, I jumped on here. I don't even have lipstick on. I'm running. Look, we're talking about me. I just said, oh no, I've been so crazy busy. I'm like, oh no, let me jump on.
That is so good. Thank you.
But shoot, Miss Bunny and I mean, we go back so far.
See, my nickname is Bunny. In case a lot of people, you always know people that have known me real.
Right, we call her Bunny.
Okay.
Bunny and I grew up together. We grew up around the corner from each other.
That's right.
And my cousin Tony and Bunny were great, great friends. And
She was in the singing group with me that we went down to the mayor's office. Okay, so go ahead. So good. I love that.
so, hanging out when we were younger, and then I get down to Spelman College in Atlanta, and who do I see? Bunny. Spelman sisters together. And Bunny and I mean, through New York, through all of her performances, all her challenges, we've always loved Bunny. I've always loved Bunny. My sister, Rashida, we've always been there for Bunny. New York,
the whole Moore family. You know, your mother.
You're right.
Your mother sung at my mother's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, Miss Moore. Yeah, she was. The Moore family was my family too. So.
Exactly, totally. I have 7 sisters and brothers, and Bunny was always a part of our family.
I made 8.
Exactly. So I'm always here for Bunny as a publicist, as a friend, a comforter, and this woman has so much talent.
Yes.
So much talent. So I'm so excited for all the great things that are happening for Bunny right now.
Thank you.
And this is still well, I always say my life is just beginning. And I feel that way for Bunny. She's been through a lot, accomplished a lot, but this is still the tip of the iceberg for where she's going.
Martine, I love you. That is that you to just look at you brings back so much good. It brings back so much good because I know many of your trials and tribulations. I know how you had to fight and how you wouldn't give up for nobody, for nothing. You were not going to let it go. So I look at you and I admire, when you were really, really up in New York modeling and hitting the runways, and you and your sister were just the first, if not the only, they just had a new set to come out. They were so amazing. They had pictures. They were with Wilhelmina. Yeah. They had pictures of Martine and her sister as models. You could hire them together. And they were so beautiful. You know, they got on my last nerve being so pretty. I said, can they do just accidentally not put on some makeup one day or do something? Just don't even do it. But the good thing is they didn't have the big heads that came with beauty. You know, sometimes you just be so charming and beautiful and wonderful that you just, you know.
Right.
But Martine she was never bougie. She never ever tried to carry me.
Right.
I felt like a star hanging out with them in New York. You know, because they were all over the magazines and the runways, and the big people were talking about them, and the Moore sisters and the blah blah blah. And I would try to get in the picture. Every time they took a picture, I try to reach over. And I'm bringing her on tonight, Lisa. This is so.
Oh, absolutely! Look, we had Martine and Roach joined us at previously on another show, and I knew when I had both of you on, then I could see the not just the synergy, but the sisterhood, the connection, and sharing. And we asked them back. I think we asked you all back for another show too, Martine. So we fell in love with them too. Yeah. Sylvia's always been. I just love her to death. Sharon, you know my heart. You know I'm with you. Even when I'm not with you, I'm with you.
I know, baby. I know.
Where is Roach? Where is Roach?
Yes, Roach. I need to see here and say hello.
I'm ready. I just want to just echo it. Hello, Bunny, and Merry Christmas to you.
Feliz Navidad.
That's right.
Right.
Wow.
But on a sadder note, though, two of me and Bunny's great friends, Sheba and Joan.
Yes.
We used to meet for lunch and hang out downtown when I was back here in DC, and we miss totally Sheba and Joan and Bunny. Bunny and I are the remnants left of those of that great friendship we had with those two. And I was trying to stick this cord in here. Okay,
trying to put it in, but couldn't get it.
And how about this, Lisa? Sheba, who she's talking, one of our friends is now gone, is Sharon's sister-in-law.
Right.
And so I hadn't seen Sheba in years, and I didn't know where she was, how to find her, anything. So I see Martine downtown one day, and I said, Martine, because it's always such a pleasure when you haven't seen somebody in a while and then you see them. And she said, well, look, I got to go because I got to head to lunch. I'm having lunch with Joan and Sheba. I said, what you say? And she said, I'm having lunch with Joan. I said, yeah, Sheba Akil? She said, yeah, because Sheba and I were roommates. Because of Martine and her sister, I got to be roommates with Sheba. And because we took over one of their apartments, you know, they had a whole bunch of money and stuff, and they were just.
Look, guess whose apartment it was? It was Iman's.
Oh, it was Iman's. It was Iman's apartment. The model
Iman. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It was Iman's apartment, and they told me to go and talk to Sheba. Because I didn't know if I knew her or not, which I didn't. And that was in the 70s, wasn't it? It was in the 1970s.
You got tighter than me and Sheba.
We were best. Sheba and I went to lunch every day. What I would do for her to be here on the show with Sharon Parker and you and Lisa. Oh my God.
Yeah. This is
Roach. I've been talking about Roach for you wouldn't even believe how much I talk about you, Roach, because your story is unbelievable. It's like
I know.
I know they're going to do a movie on you. I just don't know when, how, what. But I talk to you every time. It's going to happen. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll grace luncheon with Lisa soon and share your story, because you came on to the other show. But we would love to look. I'm telling you, anybody who's tuning in, and I warned them, if you are not tuned in today to see what's on this screen right now between Sharon and Sylvia, Martine and Roach. Oh, Pleasant Supply. Yeah, I'm glad I got both of you all on here. This is just one. This made my holiday. I knew it would make Sylvia smile, but Sylvia is just so dear to me. And I thought, what better gift, birthday and everything else, is to give her people that would make her smile, that she loves dearly. And we've actually shared a lot about the connections. I will share the connection with Sharon and Sylvia for me is the Rosa event that she hosted with Barbara Talley. I was there
Mhm.
and made the connection. And Martine, we found out when we had you on the other show that you and Sylvia were really, really, really close.
Oh yeah.
And it's some powerhouses. I think the show was named Trailblazers because both of you all are just trailblazers. And then the other person surprised who may or may not come on. I'm hoping that she will come on, but she actually was a connection for Sylvia and I when Sylvia and I just met. We actually, Sylvia reached out on Facebook and just gave a compliment. She's full of compliments. She always just acknowledges things that she loves and she likes. She's just kind that way. And we just connected, and Sylvia was headed to an interview with this person, and I'll reveal her if she can't come on, but she was headed to an interview in studio with this person, and she reached out and said, why don't you join me on this interview? And I was like, I don't know anything about interviewing like that, but I had my own online magazine. It was brand new in 2012, and Sylvia dragged me along because I was like, I can't go with Sylvia. You know who Sylvia is? Like, it was like, why are you bringing this chick? But we got to the show. We connected on so many levels. Sylvia brought me to this person. I ended up being the producer of that show, along with having my own online magazine. Sylvia, I'm just forever grateful for just her heart. She's just a wonderful person. So I was like, this would be, and I will tell you, this was on the fly. Sylvia was already coming on the show, but I knew her birthday had come up, and I kept saying, I just want to, if anybody knows me, they know I love surprises, and it don't have to be a reason. I mean, it's Tuesday, why not? It's Wednesday. Let's surprise somebody. That's just how I am. Yes, I do drive my husband crazy with that, but I am a surprise kind of person. So I thought, oh, who can I just kind of have pop in and say hello that would just put a smile on her face? And these three people literally popped in my head, because Martina and I don't talk a lot or anything like that. But I sent her a text, and I'm telling you, as soon as I said, do you mind? And she said, absolutely. There was no hesitation with anybody to do this. So I'm honored to be able to do it. This was wonderful. This is a treat for me. I'm telling you, it's a treat for anybody. Anybody.
Well, how about
Bunny, do you remember that joke that Dick Gregory said at your birthday party?
Oh God, which one? Which one? You said a bunch of them. Jesus.
Okay. Now I don't normally talk like this, but I'm gonna share his joke. And Bunny said, "Oh, Dick Gregory, thank you for being at my birthday party. So how many people get to have Dick Gregory at their 50th birthday party?" And Dick Gregory said, how many 50-year-old women get to have Dick at their 50th?
Well, all right.
When I saw Dick Gregory, the last time I hadn't seen him for 35 years, and that was at the Muhammad Ali roast. He hosted. He was the executive producer for NBC for Muhammad Ali's roast, and he's the one that hired Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor couldn't make it, and so that's how he got me. The girl that was Arnie's recommended. She said, "Just get Sylvia. I'm telling you." So then I hadn't seen Dick Gregory for 35 years. You know what he said to me when he looked at me after 35 years? He said, "We thought you were dead." Oh. You're just stupid, Mr. Gregory. You just but I have since become like their family has embraced me. They had me to do Mrs. Lillian Gregory, his wife. They were doing a documentary on her, and they had me to portray her. And from that moment on, it was like I get to portray. This is before Dick Gregory died, so it was. I think I don't know. Anyway, I'm just so excited about tonight. You guys coming on.
Happy birthday!
Now I'm about, when I leave Lisa, I have another engagement, and guess who I'm going to be on the virtual with? They've done a documentary on Dionne Warwick.
Wow.
And so one of the producers of the show called. They don't know if she's coming on, but the guy who produced the documentary, that's who they're interviewing. And they called me and said, "Can you come and do if we don't know if she's coming on, But if she does or she doesn't, can you come and do Dionne Warwick? So I said, but I ain't doing nothing until I'm finished doing luncheon with Lisa.
Hey.
Y'all can say what you want. That's my girl. We go back. Lisa has always been incredible. If anybody asked me who was one of my biggest supporters, who under no circumstances, I mean, I don't care what I do, if Lisa can be there and do it, she's there. She's kind of like what you guys were like in New York, Martine.
Yes.
You know, y'all always supported me. Lisa comes on virtual shows. She comes to my live shows. She buys my books. Lisa does everything. So whenever she asks me to come on, I don't care what it is. If I'm available, I'm doing it because I love Lisa Dove watching it.
And I love you right back. So here's another synergy moment. So Martine and Sylvia went to Spelman, and part of the connection. So you talk about a whole synergistic thing going on. I went to Spelman as well. Love. All right. So there's so many connections. One day Sylvia said, "I didn't know you went to Spelman," and I was like, "Yes, I went to Spelman." So there's some sisterhood with the Spelman. Awesome. Y'all, what we're gonna do is take a commercial break because I don't know if you all remember, but this year I was in a movie called Old School Rollers, and I played the host. So there's a surprise going on for Christmas Eve. So I wanted to share this video with you, and hopefully you all will get an opportunity. If you have not rented the movie or gone to some of the screenings, you will actually get another opportunity to see this movie. So we're going to go to a commercial break and tell you how that can happen for you. And then we will be right back.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Tree, and I'm very, very excited to be bringing a special holiday announcement for the Old School Rollers movie, and it's going to be absolutely free. But I tell you what, let me whip up a little holiday magic and bring in a couple of my friends from the Old School Rollers so that they can tell you for themselves. Check it out.
Hey everybody, I'm Maya J. Pinson, and I play the role of Brianna Harrison in Old School Rollers.
My name is Kenneth Rollo Davis. I play the role of Anthony.
Hey everybody, this is Renato Brado, aka Donald from Old School Rollers.
Hi guys, my name is Caitlin. I play the role of Carly in Old School Rollers.
My name is Diane Powell. I play the part of Stacy in Old School Rollers.
I have a secret for you.
We are having a super special holiday screening.
Make sure you tune in Christmas Eve.
It's going to be on Facebook and it's going to be on YouTube.
On December the 24th, you gotta see it.
And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Okay, so there you have it. The Old School Rollers Holiday Special is going to be screening for free on Facebook and YouTube on Christmas Eve. It's going to be an awesome event. You need to share this on your timeline. You need to tell your family and your friends. And guess what? I hope to see you all 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. All right, peace. I'm out. And enjoy the holidays.
So y'all make sure you check it out and check out your girl. I had a moment. It was the best time ever because those who don't know, most of you all probably do know, I am a skater. My whole family, we are skaters. We grew up going to Forestville skating rink, Alexander skating rink, Crystal Skate, Seabrook skating rink. I actually met my husband at Crystal Skate 32, 33 some years ago. Wow. So skating is our thing. Okay. So being a part of this movie was just exciting to me. I actually played the host, like I do on the show. So it was kind of cool to do that kind of role. I had a ball with it. But yeah, if you're a skater, if you're not a skater, it's definitely a family movie. That particular video was done by the producer of the film, Tree Walters. So check him out. He has Outreach Production. So he does a lot of things in the city too. You all may know him or don't realize that you're in the same circles with him. But check him out also because I love to shout people out. But yeah, please on Christmas Eve, if you get an opportunity, just go out there and check out my little my little moment on screen. But it was so much fun.
Let me know because I like watching skaters. So I'd love to come to one of your skating
Oh, well,
times.
let me tell you this. If you ever want to go to the skating rink, my husband and I still skate.
Yes.
So we still go to Crystal Skate on Sunday nights. Is adult night. So please feel free to come hang out with us. It starts at, I think we get there about 8 or 9 and it goes to 12.
Wow, I will come.
But
I
yes,
love watching you guys because I definitely
please,
do it.
we would love to, because look, I do a lot of watching too because I don't skate like, I mean, and I was never a trickster. I can do a few things, but my husband was on the skating team at Forestville back in the day called Rolling Skulls. So he knew how to do all that stuff, and I love to watch him skate.
Yes.
So I know what you mean. So before we let everybody go, because I want everybody to tell people where to find you all on your own platforms. But Sylvia, before we go with that, I wanted you to kind of share. Now, this is a section of the show where we kind of do a lunching with Lisa moment, where we really have a luncheon with Lisa moment.
Okay.
Because you all know that people out here tripping, lunching, or whatever. Back in the day, we said luncheon. That just means people is acting crazy about some stuff. And of course, with Luncheon with Lisa, we have a Luncheon with Lisa lunchbox. Okay.
Oh, cute.
There are no sandwiches in here. There's no food involved. But we usually encourage people to write into my email and give us some topics of discussion. It could be on anything, relationships, wearing your mask, not wearing whatever. But tonight, real quick, before we say goodbye to everybody, and do a couple of giveaways, I wanted to find out, was there anything going on in the world that you think people are just really lunching about? And share. Yeah.
People who are not vaccinated, and especially nowadays, 1,000 people are dying every day.
That's right.
Mostly those who are unvaccinated. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, well, I do get it. It started with that man named Trump. The first day when he defied the scientists is gone. He should be tried for murdering all these people.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, I think people are really tripping about some of the things that we have to do as a unit. I mean, I do think that people have kind of misunderstood the fact that we have to do this for each other. It's not a me time. Unfortunately, we ran across a not a me time in a time when everybody seems to be all about me, which I think is why we're struggling with this. But I do agree that people are kind of, tripping with that. So, Sylvia, do you have something that people are tripping about?
I sure do. Look, I was trying to call up, but I'm gonna just go ahead. The rats and the roaches and the mice and stuff and all these fast food places and everything. It's like, how do you not know that you have a store full of rats?
Right.
Where there's food, where everybody comes in to get good old chicken.
Right.
It's like that. So they lunching. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you, Sharon? What you got?
I'm over here brainstorming in my head, but I'm going to just say that people are taken for granted when people die. As many people that's died in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I think people don't even comprehend how not natural that is. And I don't want us to get comfortable with, somebody died and we just jump back and move on to something else. If we can just pause and pray for all those souls who left us way before their time, their legacy wasn't transferred to their family, they may be losing wealth. And it's something that, I look forward to talking about at my 9th annual conference, but a lot of information, a lot of history, and has just left us. And we need to really stop for a moment and really understand what it means when anyone that we know pass away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a time. It is a time, and it's not cliche to say it's a time for us to kind of work together. We don't have no choice. Unfortunately, we're in a position where if we don't work together, it just makes the struggle that much harder. So it's kind of like, stop fighting it. You don't have to like everybody, to just as human nature is to just kind of make sure everybody's good so they can go on about their business and you can go on about yours. So we're going to do better. That's what I'm going to pray, that we're all going to do better. Absolutely. I did see in the chat that Tanique says she is going to come to Crystal. Tanique, all you got to do, let me know when you're going to be there so I can come over and say hello. But absolutely.
So let me tell you, Lisa, about the synergy with what you just said about Tanique.
Well, can I say this quickly, Sharon? Because I got the other people from the Dionne Warwick thing saying, "Are you coming? Are you coming?"
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you better
So
go.
I gotta leave. But let me, Lisa and Sharon. I'm sorry, I didn't
You're
really
fine.
mean to
You're
cut you off.
fine. You're fine.
I wanted to quickly say, back years ago, when people used to go, and I didn't want to say this on social media because I said they will tear me to shreds. But anybody, not only me, they would tear somebody, whoever talked about this. Years ago, when they used to run out there in space, we would have the most horrible weather. And we used to talk about, like, every time they go out in space, the weather gets all messed up. And my heart is broken for the people out there in the Midwest and the heartland.
Yes.
And then I'm looking at these $1 million folks going up in space having fun.
Yes.
And then I don't know. I don't know if that has. I don't know. But anyway, thank you. Lisa, is it okay if I?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for joining us.
And wait, how about this? After this next virtual, I gotta go to they asked me to present an award to so anyway, so I'm time. I wasn't missing this. I'm so glad. God, thank you, Lord, for your blessings of giving me Mertine and Sharon through Lisa Dove Washington. It's been an absolute delight, and I am I'm just filled with love. And Roach, I almost I don't be forgetting you though. Don't you?
No, you don't. I know. I know.
Thank you so much for joining. Let everybody know real quick where they can find you, and then we'll close out with everybody else and definitely have you come back in the new year.
Okay, they can find me at the MGM Casino. No, I'm only kidding.
That's coming.
I'm on Facebook at Sylvia Traymore, Sylvia T. Morrison. The same with IG, the same with Twitter, the same with TikTok, the same with Snapshot, Snap, Boom, Bam, and all that other good stuff. So,
wonderful.
Thank you, Lisa.
And thank you so much for blessing us with joining us for the last luncheon with Lisa. So
and I got hit it. You go to 3.
Yes.
And the good thing is, you guys wished me a happy birthday on the show. If you had text me, you got an automatic notice that said you didn't follow directions, therefore you have to send me a Cash App. And so many people laughed. They thought it was absolutely brilliant. So,
love you, Bunny. Love you.
Y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sharon. Okay.
Sharon and Mertine, before we leave, I want you all to let everybody know where they can find you on social media for your particular platforms. And again, I hope to have you all back. Roach, you too, in 2022. And thank you so much for helping me to surprise Sylvia.
Thank you. I can be found on morewrap.com, the jumpsuit dress or gown that can be wrapped multiple ways. Morewrap.com. I'm on all social media platforms. Morewrap, Magalog. Glad to be here, Lisa. I'm here anytime you need me. Thank you
so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and Inner Voices, our radio show is Inner Voices coast-to-coast.org. Inner Voices coast-to-coast.org and Crossroads Radio Show Tuesday mornings.
And if you need to try to contact me, just contact the FBI. They know where I'm at all times.
So what we're going to do too is make sure we put your links in the thread so people can reach out to you. Sharon, tell us where we can find you.
Yes, you all can find me at www.leadingwithin.org, Sharon_leadingwithin, and of course Sharon Parker on Facebook. I just go by my name, Sharon E. Parker. Okay, Sharon E. Parker 1 on Twitter. But definitely, Lisa, what I wanted to say earlier was that one of the things that I think people are lunching about, a lot of people need to be using your promo platform, okay? So every time I see your commercial, I'm like, oh, that stuff is fly. So I asked my daughter to come on to witness what you do so that she can understand how powerful your platform is. So I'll be hiring you in 2020, young lady.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
All right.
I'm going to do a special shout out to Shariva. She's behind the I Sometimes I beg her to come on with me, but she is awesome to work with. We started this because we saw a need, because a lot of people want to do these virtual platforms, which is safer right now. But we also we want to help people out because it's a lot. Believe me, it's a lot behind the scenes. So we thought, why not take that pressure off so when people bring their guests on, they can just have a good time and communicate, and we'll take care of the background. So I appreciate both of you all. This was so wonderful. For those who
Yes.
didn't know, the third surprise was actually Sean Mason Lesueur, who just got married. And the reason I wanted her part of this because she is the one who had a radio show on Bliss FM, and Sylvia brought me with her to Sean's show, and I ended up connecting with Sean and becoming the producer on her radio show. And we have all been friends ever since. I love them whether I'm talking to them every day or not. But even Sean now works with my publishing company. She has, she has a role in that situation. So we're connected always. So I appreciate you, ladies. I thank everybody for tuning in. This is the last show of this year. So happy holidays to everybody.
Yes.
If you see me on social media, I'll just be chilling, doing my thing because after next week, I am checking out to be with family. But I'm enjoy social media the way I always want to. It's not going to be all about business. But I really enjoyed this. This was absolutely wonderful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. I think Shariva might have to correct me on the date, but I think January 13th, if I'm not mistaken, is when we come back and start it all over again to end the rest of the season that ends in August. So thank you so much. Happy holidays. And we will see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy